Hey guys, vegan cyclist. So today we're talking about training programs and really how to train for cycling. Now the first thing you need to understand about this is your fatigue and your fitness. Okay, so those two things combined, fitness plus fatigue equals overall form. So you've probably heard this a lot when you're watching a pro tour or someone talk about a pro cyclist. They're always saying like they're on form, they're coming into form. And that basically means that you've got your fitness and your fatigue, and that is going to give you kind of a net gain of an overall picture of your performance. All right, so I'm going to go into this really in depth in this video, but just to give you an overview. So let's say your fitness is here and your fatigue is here. Like you've just come off a rest week and you're feeling really good, your legs aren't sore at all, but so you've got a really good spread, right, between your fitness and your fatigue. So your overall form, good, green, awesome, you're awesome. Well, as you go into the training block and you start to increase your fitness through workouts like intervals and just getting some miles in, so you're like bam, 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 hitting all these workouts, well, your fatigue is going to rise faster than your fitness. And at a certain point, these are actually going to intersect, and now your fatigue is going to be too high to be able to really even be able to accomplish the workouts and give you any extra fitness. And so then now you can see that your fitness is higher than it was when you began, but your fatigue is so much greater that your overall form is at like a net loss, like you're in the red here. So then this is where most people are going to start taking a recovery week or start to taper to make that spread of fitness versus fatigue grow in a positive manner. This is what you want. You want a high level of fitness, low level of fatigue, great form. All right, so how can you apply this to your program? How can you start to better understand fitness and fatigue and use that to get your best form of the year? Well, you're usually going to want to probably write some kind of program that is about 3 to 5 weeks. I do a 3-week on block and with a 1 week off, kind of. So I do 3 weeks of intervals and structured training, and then I have 1 week that is a recovery week. I still ride during that. And I'm going to tell you why that's super important. But I go 3 on, 1 off, and so that's how I do it. You can go as far out as about 5 weeks, but like I just said, you don't want to go any more than a 5-week training block, because then your fatigue will get to a certain point of that you can no longer increase your fitness because you're just too tired to hit those numbers to allow for adaptation. So look, the first thing you got to do is write this thing down. When you start to build the training program, you can't just have it in your head. You got to write it down because it will keep you accountable. You might not think it will, but it's such a huge difference to actually have something written down and in stone so that you can't bail on it. Right now, you can do this through something fancy like Training Peaks, which usually costs some kind of money, but it doesn't matter, man. Put this down on a notepad, like a sticky note or whatever, on a napkin. It doesn't matter. You need to write this down. And you don't have to write down like super specific stuff. I mean, you can if you want. My training program is extremely detailed with like pre-ride notes and post-ride notes that my coach puts in through Training Peaks, but it doesn't really matter. You can say like, okay, Monday is easy and Tuesday is hard. And so then Wednesday would be medium and Thursday would be hard and Friday is easy and Saturday is race and Sunday is day off. You know what I mean? You could do something like that. Super simple and easy. And again, I would recommend doing about a 3-week block. So let's kind of put this out here and show you how this is going to increase your fitness and your overall form the best possible way with reducing fatigue. So let's just say you start here, okay? You've got this amount of fitness and this amount of fatigue. And your first day, say Monday, is a pretty easy day, okay? It's just kind of getting you used to pedaling and stuff. So you do about an hour to 2 hours, and you stay strong, and you're like zone 2, zone 3. So then this is kind of how it's going to start looking after the first day. But then say Tuesday you do intervals, which then is definitely going to increase your fitness quite a bit, but your fatigue is going to increase a lot. So then on, say, Wednesday, you need some sort of workout that is not intervals because you've built up a lot of fatigue and you're tired and you don't want to do intervals back to back to back. So then it's like, say, Wednesday is going to be more of like a recovery ride. So then Thursdays, you go back for more intervals, and Friday, maybe it's an easy day, and then Saturday and Sunday are like group rides, or maybe like, say, Saturday is a group ride or a race. So you're doing some big miles or some really hard efforts, and then Sunday is your day off. So now you can see as you're starting the second week in your block, your fitness is higher than it started, but your fatigue is also higher than it started, right? Now for me, usually my second week is my strongest week. Because week 1, I'm coming off a rest week, so my fitness is low, my fatigue is low, but so is my fitness. My second week, I'm starting to really get into it, get a feel for it, and then the third week, I'm tired because my fitness is there, or my fatigue is up. So now, again, you're going to basically repeat this same cycle. So you had Sunday off now, so Monday, easy ride, Tuesday, intervals, Wednesday, easy, Thursday, intervals, Friday, easy, Saturday, big, meaty ride, something with a lot of miles. So either a road race or like a crit or a group ride, whatever it is, you really want to have at least one day where you're getting in like 3+ hours of riding. So then Sunday, your day off, and now you can see that your fatigue is pretty high now. Your fitness has increased, but your overall form is less than it was at the beginning of this this block. So now we move into the third week, and now your fatigue's starting to creep up pretty good. So we repeat the same thing. Monday easy, Tuesday hard, Wednesday easy, Thursday hard, and you're probably really, at this point, you should be looking forward to a rest week. You should be like, man, I am crushed, I am not wanting to be on the bike right now. Friday easy, Saturday is should be another, again, a big ride or a race. Sunday, day off, and now we're going to go into our rest week. And this is why a rest week is so important. Because let's compare where you were at the beginning of this block and where you are now. Your fitness has increased, but your fatigue has increased more than your fitness. So your net gain here is not good. Your overall form is in the red. So this is not when you would want to go and do a race because your overall fitness is not as good as it could be. So what we need to do here for this recovery week is decline the fatigue while trying to keep your fitness as high as you can. And this is why you don't want to just not ride on your recovery, because both of these metrics will fall at the same rate, right? Your fatigue will fall if you're not riding, but so will your fitness. So let's take a look at a proper rest week, and what that's going to look like is this, right? Your fatigue falls, but your fitness falls at a lesser rate than the fatigue, providing this positive spread between fitness and fatigue. So now your overall form, your overall fitness is good. Now let's take this for example. If you were to just not ride at all during recovery, you're like, I'm going to seriously recover and not ride, and it will look like this. Your fatigue will start to drop, yes, but so will your fitness. So now at the end of a rest week, at the end of, like I say, a 4-week block, your overall fitness and form aren't really any different than when you first started. You've just done nothing for a month, essentially. Okay, last thing, super important thing, and that is overtraining. You're gonna have this feeling of like, dude, I don't need a recovery week. I'm gonna smash it. I'm gonna crush every workout. I am a fucking beast. Oh yeah. And that is the worst thing you can do. It is more important to recover than to work out. I know that seems like counterintuitive and stupid, but you could do all this work and not get any gains from it if you don't recover right. You can go into overtraining, which is like an actual thing, and it's like a sickness. And so if you go like 7, 8, 9 weeks of hard training and with no recovery, or if you do like really a lot of races back to back to back to back, and you're constantly riding, your body will start to shut down. And then it actually sometimes can last up to like 6 months, a couple weeks to 6 months for some people, where it doesn't matter what you do. If you go out on the road, you're not going to make any gains. You'll just be in a free fall because your body basically says, dude, you are tearing me up. I have to stop you from doing this. And it just basically says, no more fitness for you, all for me. Right? And so you don't want to overtrain. You really want to keep it to a 3-week to 5-week blocks. 5 weeks is even pushing it quite a bit. And but it depends obviously on how hard you're riding, right? If you go out and your interval is you in zone 2 or 3, and it's only 10 minutes, I mean, that's you know, that's like a recovery ride. You know what I mean? You really need to earn that recovery ride. Your intervals need to be hard, and you need to be pushing yourself to get that adaptation. And again, power meters, that's why they're so important, because man, you can take all the guesswork out of this training program and make sure that every single freaking ride, every pedal is in a direction for positive fitness. So guys, thank you so much. Hey, my coach, Tony Wolf, he is the one that I consulted with on all this information. He's the one that went to school. He's the awesome dude with all the knowledge. I am just a student of his. And so he is, you know, I got to cite him on this, right? Tony Wolf, he's the man. He's awesome. If you have any information that you really want to get answered about training, he would probably be the guy to ask. I'll post his Facebook stuff here, bam, and hit him up. And if you want him to be your coach, he is a phenomenal coach. You can check him out if you want. But guys, I'm so happy to have done a video on this, because I think if you are a cyclist and you want to get better and you want to be stronger, you need to understand fitness and fatigue and form. And this, I think, does a pretty good job of that. Guys, thank you so much. Watch all my other stuff. Check out all my goodies here. And thank you so much, Vegan Cyclist. Yeah.